Hello, this is Noreen from Joya Cards, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Yay! For more of my Stampin' Up! Card videos, click that subscribe button and that little bell, and what the bell will do is it will alert you when my videos come up. So anyway, what we're going to do is go over the Sweet Candy Canes bundle, and I'm going to make some cards, and we're going to make one at the end as well. But I wanted to just show you how these stamp out and what the dies look like. So you get like this great big die here, and then there's only 5 other dies. So it's kind of a basic set, but it does a lot of things. Now, this is in the mini catalog, the July to December 2022, and it's on page 10. And then also they have the Christmas banner bundle as well, and I'm going to do that on the next video, and then I'll maybe do a third video where I'm combining all 3, because some people will have this set, or maybe they will have both, you know, never know. So let's look at the DS paper, because it is so cool. First of all, you get this 1 page of candy canes, which is really cute, and I'll show you what those do in a minute. And then here's the back. And then here's the other piece here. Now, I have actually used this paper before I've done this set. So if you see a demonstrator using paper that's not part of a set, you know it's good paper. And then here's this one. And is that the same? No, see, these are different candy canes here. And then the back side like that. So the paper is really, really, really nice. So that's the paper. Here's what the dies look like when they're all cut out. And it's kind of nice to cut things out before you start making cards, because you never know what something does. In fact, here's some circles from the sentiments. They're more like little ovals, and I always keep those in mind when something makes a circle, because there's so many things. It's like, oh, I need a circle, a really small one. So just keep that in the back of your mind, that these do that. So here are all the die cuts, and then I also stamp it out as well, just to kind of familiarize myself with how well it stamps. And what I've noticed, it's one of those stamps, unless you have it on a Stamparatus, you might not get that solid stamp. So, you know, it has all these little kind of like lines in it, so you might want to use a Stamparatus. So let me show you how it stamps with color. So this candy cane here, I actually stamped with a Stamparatus, and this one in the same color that I didn't. And you can definitely tell the difference between the two. But now the green, now this is garden green. Now the colors in the DS paper are garden green, pool party, real red, and sweet sorbet, believe it or not. And so here's that garden green, and it stamped out pretty well, and that's with a block. So I think it also depends on how freshly inked your pads are, or how new your pads are. It's possible that my real red is a little dry. So, you know, it just kind of depends on the situation with your stamps. And then I also did mint macaroon and cherry cobbler. This might be Mary Merlot. I think I mixed them up. So that's how it stamps. And then I went ahead and I stamped out all the leaves. Now this is a very easy set. There's not a lot of layering or a lot of coloring or anything like that. But I thought it would be a good idea to stamp out the leaves, because we have 11 greens. And it's good to see how they do. So this is soft seafoam, this is pear pizzazz, granny apple green, mint macaroon, parakeet party, which I love, old olive, mossy meadow. Now if you look at mossy meadow, it's kind of light. I think my pad is just a little dry. So sometimes you're just not getting that color because you need to re-ink your pads, or you've over-inked them. So this one right here is garden green, and I think garden green is a dark color anyway, but it's possible that I might have over-inked it a little bit. And then this is shaded spruce, soft succulent, and evening evergreen. So this is useful, so you can see, you know, your options, even though you know what the colors are. Even I know what the colors are, but it's good to go, maybe I like this one right here. And I only knew what they were because they're all in order in my little organizer here. Also, note that it's one of these stamps, and it's got that big border around it. And if you get it into like either a new stamp pad or an over inked one, you might get these little ghosts here. So just be careful. You have the tendency to push down a little too hard. It'll definitely get you. Now let's talk about the dies. So we've got these leaf dies here, and they did use these in the catalog on one of their examples without a stamp. So I went ahead and made a cut of all of our colors. So we've got Evening Evergreen, Soft Succulent, Garden Green, Pear Pizzazz, Mossy Meadow, Granny Apple Green, Old Olive, Shaded Spruce, Parakeet Party, Mint Macaroon, and Soft Seafoam. Just to get an idea of what they look like again, because the paper can look different from the stamp, just slightly. So, and then I also took some DS papers, like this is Boughs of Holly, this is Pretty Prince, here's Hues of Happiness, which I really like using for, you know, greenery stuff, and A Wash of Beauty. These are my two favorites. And you know what? Boughs of Holly is number 3. So you can use DS paper, you can use just your cardstock, and you can get all kinds of different colors. So that's another way of kind of seeing what things will turn out as. And then of course you can also stamp on your greenery here, which I just chose not to do. So, but you could go ahead and stamp it like in a different color. Like if we took this one and then took a garden green, and of course you probably should, you know, stamp it first and then cut it out. Let's see if I can get it to do this. See how good I am. No, I'm not good. Anyway, so you'll go ahead and you can do something like that. So that's just another option. Now let's talk about the candy canes. There is, of course, that piece of DS paper that you can cut out all those candy canes, and it looks absolutely awesome. And there are only 4 different colors of those candy canes. So here's the 4 here. Now, when I went to go ahead and cut this, I got rid of my extra big shot die cutter because it was just a monster and I didn't use it that much. So what I had to do is I had to cut this to fit in my Sizzix. So what I did is I had to fussy cut around the candy canes, because you don't want to take this and put it on your cutter and cut it, because there's no way that you can cut this without taking off the tops of the candy cane. So go ahead and grab your scissors and just kind of cut them out, because you don't want to lose any of this, because these are fantastic. This really makes a set that you can take the DS paper and do it, because it's a lot prettier than if you stamped it out. You know, it just kind of is. I mean, you compare the two and there's no comparison. The DS paper is way better, so you don't want to waste all this awesome paper by cutting it straight down the middle so you can put it through your die cutter. So just, you know, fussy cut around it and get all those out. And the other die, I mean, this die here is just a sentiment. These are for these right here. But this big die, I mean, if you want to use DS paper, you can, but it's going to cut so much out of it. I don't know if you're going to get a lot out of it unless it's like a solid, like those greens that I use for leaves. So we'll see what I come up with this. Now, I'm going to go ahead and make the cards. I'll make a few, and then we're going to make the one on the end. Oh, and I did want to show you the stamp. Remember when I tried to stamp on that cutout? See how much ink I got on the side? You got to be really careful about tapping it, because I did that one really good. That's just wanting to be ghosted. So anyway, so I'm going to make some cards and I'll be right back.